Hey everyone, it's Kathy Alldredge with Team Dripping Oils, and we are really excited to have the opportunity to hear from our Blue Diamond upline, Megan Knorpp of Knorpp and South. And Megan has a few things that she's going to introduce to us that, of course, are to help us in growing our business. But first off, I want to introduce Megan to you. Megan is a friend that has been cohort in building our business for the last 6 to 7 years, and it's been fun to watch their journey and development of really discovering on who they are and who their target market and the life that they want to live. And they are currently living in Europe as we speak right now, and I know, so we're going to pretend if she jumps on and off a little bit, I know it's because of the connection that they have there in the internet. So when we see her again, she is going to jump in and let me see if I can get her to jump back in. Okay, are you unmuted there, Megan? Just get you to start your video. When she gets going again, they actually travel with their 9 kids, Megan, all over the world, and they share doTERRA through their internet channel and through their website. And so they do have a unique way of sharing doTERRA. But one of the things that we're excited to have Megan introduce to us today are some of her best top tips for her part of her team. And then, of course, the training module that Mike and her have currently launched to help and support our business. So Megan, as soon as you want to jump on, we can have her join us here. I will also allow you to have screen privileges if you want to show any of the website yourself. You're welcome to, or else I can show it from this end. Megan, we saw you there just a moment ago. There you go. Awesome. Let me unmute you, or you did it. Okay. Okay, I'm doing it. You're muted now. Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, welcome.
So sorry. Sometimes in Europe the internet's amazing, and in other countries it's not so amazing. And in Portugal it's on the not end.
Wow. So tell my team, my team does have had a lot of interaction with you, especially by growing members. And it's really exciting to maybe tell a little bit about you and Mike, and maybe a little bit about your journey with doTERRA and how you share doTERRA and what it's done for you and your family.
Absolutely. I'd love to. So first of all, Mike and I were introduced to doTERRA, the oils, 7.5 years ago, almost 8 years ago, by some friends, Jared and Sheree Winger. If you may know of them, they're your presidential diamond upline. They were our neighbors there in Utah. We were living in Utah at the time, and they shared some oils with us. And we moved out of state and started using the oils and thought they were pretty cool. We didn't buy the oils. They were a gift, probably because we were way too poor. We wouldn't have ever bought them. But then it was about 9 months after we started using them that Jared and Sheree were coming to visit us. We lived on a farm in Washington State, and they were coming to visit us. It was really, let me back up. When I say farm, I'm using that word very liberally because Mike and I are both city slickers. We wanted a farm. We had lots of animals, and it was like a total mess.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes literally a mess, but mostly figuratively a mess. We didn't know what we were doing. But it was fun. So they wanted to come out and visit us, and we said, well, while you're here, why don't you teach a class on essential oils? Because I still didn't know much about them. We'd had some good experiences, but I didn't really know I didn't have a big picture of oils. And so it kind of evolved over a few weeks' time from them coming and teaching a class to us deciding to do the business. And it was, I guess, we were just so unhappy with Mike's work. I was working as a photographer and kind of a graphic designer, and he was unhappy. He was in a sales job. We weren't really interested in me doing more photography work because we knew that was just a lot of time, and we weren't really interested in that. But he was also really, it was it was just emotionally exhausting to be in a job that you hate. I was really unhappy. And so we didn't really think about doTERRA as an option. It just didn't even cross our minds until I was talking to Sheree on the phone, and I was saying, what can we do? Jared and Sheree, if you know them, are very entrepreneurial, and they have their hands, in many pots, so to speak. And so she was like, I was like, what should we do? How should we earn more money? How, what could we do to maybe go out on our own in business? And I said, well, maybe Mike should call Jared. And she said, well, don't have Mike call Jared because he'll just tell him to do doTERRA.
I love it.
So she was actually discouraging us from doing doTERRA. But it was actually at that moment, her saying that it almost saying that in that way, because maybe I'm a little bit rebellious. I'm like, well, wait, why not have us do doTERRA? Maybe that is an idea. And so it kind of went quickly to that. And they told us what the potential was. And we were having good experiences. And so we just jumped on board. And really, we were in. I think mostly because we were so unhappy where we were at anyways, that it was like it was like the first ray of hope we'd had in a long time. So we were in. And started building and quickly I think we hit Elite our second month and then Premier our third month. And we thought, all right, this is it. We're going to be Diamond in 6 months. But, 6 months later, we were still Premier. So, and stayed Premier for quite a while we kind of had to back up and figure out how to do doTERRA effectively and how to help other people find their dreams rather than just, sharing our own. And that's kind of a whole training in and of itself. But we eventually hit Diamond, and that was 3 years ago. Yeah, we hit Diamond 3 years ago and hit it a few more times after our first time, and then found that we were kind of miserable. And we went into almost a hibernation period, so to speak.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes, where we really, we didn't hit Diamond for probably a year, maybe a year and a half. And we were just platinum. What, Mike?
It was actually 2 years, I think.
Mike says it was 2 years where we were just solid platinum and supporting our team at that, but we were not bringing on new builders. And it took us probably that full 2 years to really come to terms with the fact that we weren't interested in bringing on new builders and to really think about why we weren't doing that. And what
tools did you use to discover that? Did you go to outside coaching? Were you?
I did. We got a coach thinking she would just help us do doTERRA.
She's going to motivate you to do it.
Like, she'll just make us do it. And in our first call with her, I said, I know we really need to have some classes and we need to do these things. And she just kind of held a mirror up to us and said, like, why do you have to do something? Because I said, I just don't want to do that. And she was kind of like, why do something that you hate? Why do you think you have to do something that you hate? Or why do you have to do it in that way? And really helped us kind of take a look at how emotionally, I guess, how much emotional baggage we had accrued in our doTERRA business. And she helped us kind of unpack that and come back at it with fresh eyes. And so that ever since then, it didn't take long to start hitting Diamond again after starting that coaching, but it was that unpacking that enabled us to feel like we wanted to go even further. That now our sights are on presidential when that was not on our radar at all at that point.
And just from my perspective of watching you do that, I can see, different phases in your business, right? Phases where when we all started this, that we thought we had to do it a certain way, right? This is you do classes, there was this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-step program. And that's how you had to build doTERRA, and be able to see you and, using coaches or your own internal knowledge of saying, look, what do we want to do in this life? And can doTERRA fit into that package? It's been really inspiring for myself as a leader of these women and men to really feel strongly about helping them find their leadership, this next few days, how we're really focusing around, the Strengths Finder 2.0 characteristics and helping people create their business around who they want to be, right? Their dream business, and then getting doTERRA to pay them to do that. And it's been pretty exciting to watch. And I know a lot of people love to ask you about your YouTube channel and how that was created and how you have, you know, was that created with the intention of building your doTERRA business around it? And how did it evolve to be that?
You know, I think Mike and I, about a little over almost 7 years ago, so I guess 6.5 years ago, we started the adoption process. It felt led to do that. You know, our hearts were leading us to do that. And it was during that process that we really learned to listen to the whisperings of our heart. We're people of faith. And so we felt like that was God essentially telling us, not essentially, we felt like that was, you know, God telling us what to do. And whatever you think that is, we really, during that time and ever since then, have tried really, really hard to just listen to our hearts and to feel it out and feel what feels right and what doesn't, and be willing to do what seems like crazy things.
Like selling your home, adopting how many kids?
We adopted 5 kids, so we have 9 kids now. But like just trust that and kind of getting really when you listen to that voice enough, or you listen to your heart speaks like a language. And the more you listen to it, the easier it is to know what it's saying. You know, just like learning a foreign language. And so we, you know, kind of developed that way of living. And ultimately that's what led us to do the YouTube channel. We felt for a while, we were kind of in that struggle that we talked about with our doTERRA business. But as we worked with our coach, you know, we started hitting diamond again. We really felt this idea kept coming to us that if we would just follow what we were being told to do, or what our hearts were leading us to do, that doTERRA would take care of itself.
And look at that. Wow.
Yeah. And so when we started our YouTube channel, Jared does not admit to this story. He does not remember it, but I remember calling Jared up and saying, hey, we're going to start a YouTube channel and make videos about our family. Because the way that happened was we were driving down the road, and I just really, we're going to the grocery store, and I just all of a sudden this idea just like a lightning bolt. And I said, Mike, we should have a YouTube channel about our family. I think we should do that. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. It was like this weird moment. Which
both of you agreed, right? So not one of you said, no, we're not going to. He's like, oh, both of you are like, inspired.
Like, both of us like, yes, that's what we're supposed to do. And so when I called Jared and told him that, he said, well, that's cool. He's like, I just want you to know that's not going to help your doTERRA business.
Because it's not how it's been done.
No, and really, I don't blame him, because at that time in doTERRA, what was that? That was 5 years into the doTERRA journey for me, or a little bit more. But it was all about duplication. And that's really what we had done. And that's why we kind of hated it once we'd hit diamond, because it was, don't be yourself. I remember being told at a training more than once from the top leaders in doTERRA to leave yourself at home when you teach a class.
And be this, oh, wow.
Be this like very duplicable individual. I remember one individual saying, I can't be, you know, who I am. I have to be, you know, something that everyone can be. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, and anything that's kind of individual to you that only you could do, don't do it in your doTERRA business, which leaves you feeling miserable, you know, just miserable, because you can't bring yourself to the table. Because you think, well, I remember often thinking, I had an idea, but then I think, well, can everybody on my team do that? And if the answer is no, then don't do it. When really we had a complete about face. And I think this is definitely 20 hindsight, because we didn't, as I said, we were just following our hearts, and we felt like we were supposed to have a YouTube channel. And now looking back, I can see that as we individualized our journey and did what we were called to do, then doTERRA followed. And I could see that it was the more individualized our doTERRA business became, the more people we attracted to it. and more people who came on with that journey. I think the less you take, the less of you that's showing up in your business with your strengths and your personality and the things you're passionate about, then the less people you're going to attract. But when you bring yourself to the game, when you bring your weird spin on it, I mean, even in weird ways, then people will come out of the woodwork to be a part of it.
Well, I remember coaching with you early on, Megan, and someone has said to me before, look, you know, you scare me, Kathy. You know, I can't do doTERRA like you do it. And I remember thinking, oh no, am I going to scare people? People don't want to work with me. And you said something that has stuck with me for the years. You said, Kathy, believe it or not, there are people out there searching to work with you, Kathy.
Absolutely.
They want to work directly with you. Absolutely. And something else unique in our journey is I was coached by an executive owner that made me not to do expos. That I did expos because it was safe and I didn't have to talk to people that I knew. And it's interesting because I remember hearing that and thinking, that's not okay. Isn't that amazing? Like, I'm like, this person's an executive owner. I should really be listening to it. But I said, no, not for me. And so interesting how that grain has gone through our team a little bit of saying, you know what? We can create our businesses around who we are supposed to be. And if we do so, and I one of my unique, you know, missions, and you'll see it coming up on my website, is that I help people find their unique purpose in helping heal the world. And as they discover that, they can't help but shine and glow. And guess what? People are attracted to them like flies to light.
That's right. That's definitely our team. That's really what we're hoping as a team that we do. And that's really what we've found that we're passionate about in doTERRA. Mike and I are all about freedom. We see that theme coming up again and again for us, that we're just looking for freedom. And obviously our doTERRA business did that for us. 9 kids, maybe not. But
oh gosh, can you imagine the amount of grandkids one day? Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Right. But, you know, here we are, today we were in Lisbon, or we are in Lisbon, and we got these tuk-tuk tours. I don't know if you know what tuk-tuks are. They're kind of like motorcycles with.
Like the little add-ons or something? Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so they, you know, down these crazy windy cobblestone streets up to castles and just overlooking. This is a beautiful city. It looks like Italy.
Look at you when you come in with 9 kids in Europe, and just
everywhere,
like inquisitive and what is this? And
everywhere we go, we are the show. You know, on the subway, everybody in the whole subway cars. Not everybody, but it feels like everybody's just watching.
Like you're the field trip that they're watching, and
yeah, we're like the dinner theater. You know, when we're eating out, and absolutely.
Oh. Well, Megan, I would love for you, okay, using this lifestyle, doing this, okay. Last month you told me you enrolled how many people into your business?
I think, I don't know, I think 92 or something last month.
Okay. So this is someone who's been sharing oils for 7 years, right? Has created, and people say, oh, well, she's established an online. Yeah, that's great, right? Do I need to go build online? Is that something that, you know, is it up to that person? No,
I remember when I was talking with Krista Grant.
Sorry, you're shaking a little bit. Is the laptop on your lap?
Yes, sorry, it is.
No worries.
I was talking with Krista Grant, who's a Blue Diamond, and she hit Diamond, I think, within 10 months, 9 or 10 months of enrolling in doTERRA. And I remember her saying, you know, people think that we hit Diamond in 9 months. And she's like, but really 2 years before doTERRA, I was building this community, you know. And really, that's why I was able to just introduce doTERRA to them, and we grew very quickly. She's like, but I was still working on my doTERRA business before I even knew what doTERRA was.
So really 24 months plus 9. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when she said that, I thought, oh man, I wish I had a network like that. But it was just like, you know, and it wasn't until 2 or 3 years later, it was like, why don't you just go get one? You know, like, why did it have to happen before doTERRA? You know, she was all into farm to fork. She was pioneering that in, you know, her area of Dallas, Fort Worth. Mm-hmm. and farm co-ops and all these great mom groups that she belonged to. And so it's like, why can't you go and do something you're passionate about now and build that same community even after the fact? And so that's really that coach that we worked with helped us do that. And obviously the YouTube channel has helped us do that. But, you know, that our YouTube channel, we started a little over 2 years ago. And we started seeing within a few months people enrolling, but obviously it probably took a full 1.5 years for it to really come to full fruition. But gosh, you know, 4 years ago I could have started, 5 years ago I could have started, instead of just saying, well, I wish I had that. You know, maybe you want it to be next month, but it does take time. But obviously, what else are you gonna do? Where else are you gonna, you know, it's time well spent.
Well, Meg, I would like and if you're okay, I'd like for you to talk a little bit about how you've taken these people who have enrolled with you. And if you probably see on your screen that I've kind of shared this new Team doTERRA website. And what does this mean for people of Dripping Oils? And what things have you and Mike done to help, you know, support these 90 people who just enrolled? And how can we best utilize this awesome work that you've done?
Yes, I'm glad that we've gotten to this. So let's go back to how I went through that hibernation period. I think during that time, we weren't bringing on people to doTERRA, not only because we weren't happy, but also because we felt overwhelmed on how to bring new builders on and what to tell them to do next. We would get people excited. They'd say they want to share doTERRA, and then we would freeze up.
And then you would teach a million classes, right?
It was so unclear. And, you know, we had like PDFs we would send them, or, you know, we had all sorts of different things we tried. But that, combined with how many leaders I had started and kind of done a poor job getting started and lost, just made it kind of was like I'd been left at the altar too many times, and I wasn't interested in that getting my heart broken again by a new builder. And so we really backed off. And so this website is bringing everything back together for me. And I hope that, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one that felt that way. Like, I know that I've talked to so many leaders, like, I don't know what to tell them to do. Like, they say, okay, I'm interested, now what? And I'm like, and so that was really what our interest was. And so many things we've learned along the way of building this website, so that it's grown into something we feel even bigger than that. And we really hope that it is something that the team can utilize, and that it makes it easier to do what you do. So if you want to go back to the screen sharing.
Okay.
Can you go back to the very, very beginning?
Mm-hmm.
It's teamdoterra.com. And you're going to come to this, and we do this on purpose. I know what you think, but this is good for you because it makes them feel really glad they joined your team, because you have exclusive training that not anyone can get. And so the password is HOPE, which we do on purpose as well, because that's part of our, you know, team culture. And so this website is there's another page I want you to stop at what's happening here. When somebody enrolls as a customer, we tell them to come to this website as well. And so they come to this page and they're thinking, oh, I want essential oil education, but oh, wow, I hadn't even thought about getting help building a business, and they'll help me build a business. And so it's giving them something to think about. Right. You know, we thought about dividing these two and having two different websites, but then we thought, that's crazy. We want people to kind of wander over there and start watching that training too. So you can go ahead and click on Essential Oil Education. Let's start there. So when you enroll a new customer at your class, you can say, don't worry if you're feeling overwhelmed. We have a website that will go over all of this information again, and we'll get even more into the nitty-gritty, that sort of thing. So it just walks them through. You just go ahead and click on, I've got my oils, now what? So it's going to go through the different uses. I have a video at the top that goes over this, but some people learn better by reading. And so we did it again, you know, written.
And I like here, you know, you've got links very small, but hey, if you want to buy things elsewhere, right?
Yeah, somewhere to keep your oils. And so then that video will go through that. Here we're going to go and show them, if you click on maximize my membership, we're going to talk about the LRP program. We're going to tell them how to log into their back office.
And what's so cool about this is for a business builder, Meg, going through this training, they can learn and say, okay, how best is a great way to introduce the LRP program? They can learn from you, you know, not always, you know, saying, hey, just go watch this video. Maybe see how Megan introduces it. And
absolutely. And yes, absolutely. And
scripting from that as well.
I think that throughout this whole thing, I know that they're like, it's like they're hanging out with us and they're learning how we introduce things. But I also wanted to mention, I can't remember what I wanted to mention. Go ahead to tools and tips. This is where we give them all the links, right? To doTERRA. We want them to be embedded in the doTERRA community. We want it to be coming up on their Facebook page so that I don't have to tell them the specials. They become, because that's more time that I've got to spend. I want them following doTERRA. I want them on our user group on Facebook. I want them to get the books, you know, and we'll be always adding to this as doTERRA comes out with more tools or until we find ones that we like better. And if you guys want us to add ones to that, we want this website to be used by our team. So
I love that.
And then this is the thing that we'll find we want to grow the most. And so we went over the 10 foundational oils again, and you can see as you scroll over.
This is so cool. When you click on an oil, okay, it will actually take you to, da, 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 da. I just have to show you guys that I'm 10 pounds heavier in that video.
Hey, well, good job being 10 pounds lighter. I'm exactly the same weight in all my videos.
No, but look how cool that is. So if you show someone, and what's really, really great about this website, Megan, is that it's theirs, okay? Like if you make, when I say theirs, saying, look, you know, we have a really unique tool because you're a part of Team doTERRA, that you're going to have some additional training aside from just doTERRA's website.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that I've talked with several other leaders, and I didn't realize how many of them were doing this. Presidential Diamonds had their own exclusive training online. And so this is where I'm pulling in because it was already there, the amazing training from doTERRA.
So just if you went to digestive health and detox, it would open up an additional page, which I like.
The Empowered Life Series, yep.
Empowered Life Series, right? And then it doesn't close the page, which is great. I like how it opens up an additional page.
And so what we hope to be, we always want to be adding more to this. The next thing that we've got some team members working on is the emotional aromatherapy kit, because we would like to add that. I would say that is the #1 question I get through messaging is, do you have oils that help with depression and anxiety? It's a heavy burden for people out there. And so we want to make sure that they get educated on that. Okay, so I think that's it for that essential oil education. But yeah, so we go to the business training. So if you clicked on you're looking for help building a business, it brings you to this. And so I want to point out before you go to anything else that we knew it was so important to define a culture, a team culture, both for ours, because that's something we feel passionate about. And it makes it easy for us to share doTERRA as a business if we know what the point of us doing that is. But also to set the stage, I think, to have a healthy team, to help them understand like what this zone means, that, you know, that it's a safe zone. There's no drama on our team. We're just kind of laying this, you know, we're setting the tone.
We do. Culture is
everything from then on.
Yeah, from here on out. I mean, especially, we've been around for 7-8 years. We know that the culture is such a big part. I mean, this is what you're giving up the desk job for, and this freedom. And if we've got to keep that and protect that.
Yeah, and I also knew that the people that I saw up on stage talking, these presidential diamonds, they had such a definable brand, and that their team did too. It wasn't just them as an individual, but they really created this community. And I wanted to do the same, and I kind of took a step back and looked at the community I already had and looked at what excited me the most. And that's where doTERRA came from, that we wanted to create a team where people could go and do the work they were called to do and become who they were supposed to become.
Megan, I have to stop sharing for just a moment, because you don't know my team members personally, but you just spoke every one of their missions as well. As I coach with my team individually, each one of these people who is on my team carries that same torch. Whether it's wanting to leave their work so they can work into ministry in South America or Mexico. They're just, even today, someone who's on this call spoke with me and she said, you know, I always thought I'd be involved with the ministries or somehow. And that the cool thing is those dreams can be made.
Yes. And what I've noticed over the last 7 years, and we've seen, you know, you've hit diamond, but we've seen others hit diamond. It is so gratifying to see how they, at that point, are then able to bloom, and even before that point, but able to bloom and serve in ways that they never thought possible, and shine in ways that they never thought possible. But that really, oh gosh, it's such a privilege to introduce someone to something that enables them to become who they were created to become, to open the doors that only they can unlock. And so that's what I'm passionate about. But I also think that's the same reason I share the oils, because so often people are trapped, you know, physically and emotionally. And as I share the oils, they're liberated in those ways, because maybe they aren't ever going to share doTERRA as a business, but the things that they are going to share, the oils have given them the freedom to do so. You know, so often now on our customer page, people come back and say, we've been struggling for so long with this problem, and I can't believe how quickly the oils have taken care of it for us. And so that also makes my heart sing. I'm freeing people. And when I free them, because people are rad, when I free them, they go do amazing things. And so, I mean, I shouldn't say me, but when I play the hand in sharing the oils with them or sharing the business with them, it's like, all of these people are just going through this amazing transformation and becoming butterflies. And that I get to play any role in that feels like one of the greatest blessings of my life. It's amazing.
Well, we are so grateful for you. And I know our time is limited with you being in Europe, but I wanted you, if there was anything else that you wanted to, and I do want to open up the lines because I know I have a few people who have been really excited to meet you. I wanted to ask you again, why did you choose the 5-module outline with the business training, and what's the best way, do you think, to have someone to do this in a week, you know, or break it up into 5 weeks, or what have you found best with the business training module?
Well, I am all about letting people do it the way they want to do it. And so we say to them from the beginning, if you are the type of person that wants to sit down and just work through them in a few days, you're welcome to do that. If you like to do it methodically and maybe take, you know, 1 a week, you can do that. We really were hoping, we just wanted it to be simple. And so we've taken everything doTERRA has on their site, and we will continue adding now that they've got more training coming through on their site, adding that to this. We wanted something with a start and a finish, you know, that all they have to do is keep hitting the arrow going forward, that they aren't like, where am I supposed to go now? And so we wanted something very easy to navigate. So we just started in the basics. Mike and I spent probably a year, I'm not exaggerating, a year talking and thinking and brainstorming, working with a coach to decide, what do people need to know?
And what do they not need to know?
Yes, but I was really, really important to me that I did not lay out a path that was my path. I wanted to give them a framework, or, you know, the tools to go and build whatever they wanted. I think in the past I showed them how to build my house. Instead of saying, here's how to build a house, go and build your dream house, right? And so it was like, how do we create training that is always handing it back to them, that is always helping them own it themselves, so that they go and build something amazing individual to themselves. And so we really tried hard to do that. So we knew that we needed to teach them just about their back office and the compensation plan. We needed to teach them about success mindsets. That's module 2. Before we went any further, like, you need to understand what the mindset is for success. Module 3, I think, is now let's talk about the different ways that people share oils, which is most often classes. And we say that in that module, look, you don't have to do classes, But here's why classes are a good idea, and here's how to host an effective class or to hold and teach an effective class. Module 4 is, I think, leading a team. Yeah. Now that you've maybe introduced other people, let's talk about how do you invite somebody to share with you? How do you understand and work with your different team members? The basics of placement, as you can see. And we chose talking about building to rank, and then how do you train your team and kind of help them find.
And I love that you've put the time on each one of these videos, because when someone just glances at it and says, okay, wow, I can learn how to lead a team in, it looks like about 25 minutes.
Yeah, it really doesn't take too long. And I have to remind some of my veteran leaders, they're like, oh, I haven't looked at that yet. I'm like, these are short videos. They're not long. You can do it. Yeah. And then the 5th is really where we once again wanted to talk about culture. BYOB means be your own boss. Then we talked more about branding yourself. You know, we don't do that too soon, because people will be like, I want to share doTERRA, and they get a website before they've even shared an oil.
Enrolled someone, right?
Yes. So we kind of waited a little long. We talked about networking, talked about time management. That's a huge, people always want to hear about that. And then the video I think I'm the most proud of is the stewardship, talking about the culture of doTERRA, what they need to protect, and also what doTERRA is all about, and how we're changing the world. Like, not only stewardship over your team and over your business, but how doTERRA's stewardship over the world is. And that's something, and I'll mention this too, I'm so grateful to belong to a company that takes the responsibility upon themselves to change our lives, but to change the lives of everybody along the way in the doTERRA journey, the people that grow the oils and source the oils, and the people, you know, their children, and the people that work for them, and then obviously, you know, at corporate, and then us. They are amazing stewards, and it's a privilege to support what they do. You know, I love being able to be a part of that. And then what now is our last one, and it's just kind of it's not there, you just have to click on that arrow. We just talk about how they finished, what's next.
I like how it check boxes all of them. I like that.
Yes. It's nothing, no crazy training, but I actually think that's really, really important. Now that we've done doTERRA for so long, you can go to each retreat and feel like you've got to start all over and do this whole new idea, and then everything will be different. We wanted to really focus on keeping it simple and making sure that it is true to who you are and using your strengths. And yes, I love this page too.
I do too. And I feel honored to be a part of this. You know, I feel honored to be a part of Team doTERRA and carry the torch of this culture. I know truly that I admire you and Mike, and honestly, my journey is different. I look at you and I'm like, oh my gosh, they have 9 kids and they travel the world, and it like gives me an anxiety attack.
Me too.
But then I see you do it with ease and grace, and I know that God's hand is in it. And the people that you are going to touch and bring into your business, just because that's what you're supposed to be doing. And I hope that people will take away from this, you know, this video, and you're watching this recorded, the individuality of doTERRA, and who and what people can become. Real quick, and I know one of your dear friends, and we won't spend too much time, but Marissa Johnson, right? A doTERRA Gold, living her dream and helping people with, can I speak to that a second? I mean, I don't know how much of that is top secret, but that.
No, yeah, she's finished up in about a week there, so we can be open.
She has been helping the OUR, the Underground Sex Trafficking organization that protects these children, integrating them back into society, right? Her whole family, homeschooling them from Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. How, I mean, could you even have put that in her mind when you first introduced her to doTERRA? Maybe?
No, you know, Marissa and I have been best friends since, you know, we've been friends since the 4th grade, and neither one of us knew where this journey would take us. But I just, you know, when she told us that what she was doing a year ago, or a little over a year ago, it was like, you're my hero, man. Like, that's amazing. And like, and I think almost like when she left her house and moved to Dominican to help these kids. She's helping the girls, the survivors of sex trafficking, integrate back into life, helping them learn life skills. She's doing all sorts of things there, but working with the community so that more kids don't fall into sex trafficking. But it was like, if you can do that, then the sky is the limit. Like, we can go and change the world in any way we want. And I think it's also important to remember, and I think Marissa will hit diamond, that's her goal right now, but you don't, sometimes we're like, I'm not diamond, I haven't walked the carpet yet, I don't sit in that section. And it's like, my coach also helped me with that. She's like, who cares? Did it give you what you were looking for? Did it give Marissa's family the freedom to be together and to serve and to do the things they want to do? Yes. Then who cares if you're diamond? I mean, like, yes, that is a great milestone, and I love the community that we find ourselves in, but I think we can get so bogged down in that as well. I think it's when we are in that space where it's like, I'm not diamond, we stop attracting people because
we don't believe. We stop believing.
No, and you think like
we are.
Yourself. Yeah. Marissa is this amazing hero of life. And I don't think anytime, anywhere, when she dies, I don't think they're going to say, all right, now, were you a diamond? I think it's winning at life. And so I think yes, she has that goal still. And I do think that when you hit those ranks, it means that you've blessed that many more lives and helped many more people on that journey. But people are blessing lives outside of doTERRA, and there are so many journeys happening. So just be gentle with yourself, celebrate your journey, and I will add one more thing. You don't have to feel like once you hit diamond, you have to go and like throw yourself on the sword and do some incredibly difficult thing like Marissa's doing, or maybe what I'm doing. In fact, I would tell you not to do that. I think the more you go on this journey to your better self, the less like me you will be. I think we'll share characteristics, and we're both learning about success and how to be a good person. But I do think that as you go down your path, you're not going to become more like me. You're going to become less like me. You're going to become less like Marissa, because you're going to be more of who you are, which is very specialized and incredibly important. You have something that only you can do. And the closer you get to that, the more defined you're going to become. That key is just going to become such a defined key. And now it'll be opening doors that I will never be able to open. So just keep that in mind.
Oh my gosh, Meg, this was more than I even envisioned. Thank you for connecting on such a heart level with those on my team. Is there anyone who wants to unmute themselves? Normally we kind of let, especially when we have a special guest speaker like Megan here, who's bursting to ask Megan a question or share something with Megan. If so, please go ahead and unmute yourself, or, unmute your video. I think that people are just taken back and are really excited that they were able to be a part of this. Whether they want to, I don't think there's really anything more we can add to this other than the gratitude of the vision, a vision of who and where and what we can individually become again. Megan, we look forward to meeting, I'm sure many of my team looks forward to meeting you for the first time at convention this year. We're looking forward to participating in some of the team, celebrations that you will be putting together. And
yes,
that's another thing. If those of you who don't know, our team is all about fun, all about the party. So
I did.
Yeah, all about crazy dancing, and let's just, Great, Megan. Thank you so much for being on here. And there's Clara. Clara, would you like to say anything to Miss Megan before we close up?
Hi. No, you're awesome, Megan.
Oh,
you're amazing.
Awesome. Well, I love you, Clara. I'm so excited we're going to be having a party this year at convention. I don't know if you guys have heard about the Greatest Showman theme, because it's all about becoming who you're meant to become, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best convention party that ever was.
Isn't it right that you and Mike are right now working with a trapeze expert? I've heard too.
Well, I am. Mike is just looking at ball gowns because he's going to be the bearded lady. So.
Oh no, I was imagining the trapeze scene with the hoop.
Yes. That
and the coat. He's gonna have the coat, right, and the top hat.
I know, he's got to, right?
Totally.
I might have that girl boss, right?
Oh no, I think you need the ball gown. You know, never. There we go. Perfect. Okay, we love you lots. Thanks, Megan.
Love you guys. Okay, bye.